Yeah, so here we go again. Not even 12 hours after I last sat in this place and talked to myself. This place, of course, referring to this motor vehicle, not the place the motor vehicle is in. Um, haven't done it in a while, so I guess I might as well introduce myself. Hey, I'm Ben. Three letters alphabetical order, second, fifth, and 14th of the alphabet. This is my substitute for therapy, for psychotherapy. Due to my therapist's current unavailability, I guess is the right way of putting it. First off, I probably wouldn't be able to get another, just because they are in high demand and not paid enough for there to be enough therapists for the demand there is. And secondly, because I don't think I'd be able to build the trust relationship I have with them. Just because I've been there half my life, and I think that's something that's take a lot of catch up for any other therapist to manage to match. I am parked as close to square root of 2, so probably 2.41 blocks away from uni, from the entrance, which is oddly poetic, I feel. It's precise opposite corner of the block, so though a block is an arbitrary dimension, at least in this country, it is as close to square root 2 blocks away as possible. Been to my former place of internship, though to be fair I did not show up for the beginning of work. I showed up like an hour after work started, just because with the uni work I'd done yesterday night, before sitting and talking to myself for the best part of an hour, it ended up being too late at night for me to actually viably get up at 7 in the AM. Wouldn't have gotten enough sleep that way, and I guess sleep is a priority because it's health. And I say that as I'm rolling a cancer stick, coffin nail. Funny how that works. I'm still aiming to substitute tobacco with CBD hemp, or CBG or CBN. That's fairly open with hemp, that is. So low to no THC content. I did only order 20 grams to start with, and with the shipping times, I reckon within the first 5 grams I'll have to decide whether to order more or not, just because, you know, once I'm starting with that instead of tobacco, I'd rather keep going. I am quite predetermined on liking it and sticking with it, so odds are I am going to like it. That having been said, I would most certainly continue to use activated carbon filters, in this case of the brand of Pure Eyes, made in Germany. They actually have ceramic end caps. Even if I decide to not go with hemp and stay with tobacco. I did start my last pouch of Golden Virginia tobacco just this morning, partially due to misplacing my former pouch, which was started, well, it was actually pretty darn near the end, so it's not too bad loss, which I seem to have misplaced after talking to myself just this morning. So this is my last pouch at this time. Likely I am still going to buy 1 or 2 more, because though it's probably more effective of a way, I don't aim to stop smoking from one day to the next. I aim to slowly substitute the nicotine with CBD, CBG, CBN, CBS, whatever. And slow substitution means I'll still be dependent on nicotine for a moment. I still think the main thing about these things for me is a habit of having something in your mouth. Just now, while driving here from my former place of internship, I only had one, and by the time that burnt down, I was a quarter of the way, and the rest of the way I just nibbled on this. Because these are ceramic filters, which means it's very hard to break the tips of them. So you can actually neck very close to chew them, which is, I guess, what I do. I run out of chewing gum, so I do still got mints here and backup Fisherman's Friends in the back of the car. So I ain't too bothered about substitutes while driving, I guess. It's just running low on chewing gum ain't amazing. Today's drink of choice is generic coffee from my former place of internship. Just because machine is okay there. It's actually quite good. It's probably the fanciest machine I have access to, besides my mocha at home, which I just remember I haven't actually cleaned out since I last used it because I intend on continuing drinking the coffee. I should probably do that before it grow mold, you know. I'm here at uni for the final exam that is not the thesis, which sound odd to say, but in the end of the day that means I am approximately 15 through my studies. I mean, I have a thesis to write, but in 12 weeks I'll have to have all of that handed in, including defending my thesis and a thesis film, which feel odd. I'm still seeking employment once I'm done with my studies. And in regard to that, at my former place of internship, a former colleague, for them former colleague now as well, quit out of the blue more or less. They had been lacking a bit in performance for quite a while, and they were ill quite a lot recently, perhaps mentally, I'm not sure. I'm not up for speculating, I guess, but I would not be surprised if they're suffering from something like depression or burnout. And that also being the reason they quit. Kinda sucks for them, sucks for my former place of internship, but it's a two-sided coin. The real coins are three-sided. Well, topologically they might as well be two-sided, but still, in reality they are three-sided, at the minimum. And the other side of that coin is now there is a slot open for me should they not find a better substitute while I write my thesis. But the thing is, I'm fairly confident they would have been able to, would have had to be able to hire me anyway, just because I'm hella opportunity to hire. I mean, I'll stick around for at least a few years, perhaps a decade, you know. And I'm rather motivated in my work ethics. Today at my former place of internship, a colleague was about to make themselves a coffee when they were asked to join in a short conversation, and I realised, the coffee machine's out of water, so I just topped it up without getting myself a coffee, and that colleague actually noticed, which I guess is not why I do it, because usually people don't notice, but it's just, you know, they're working. I'm there as a leisurely activity, as odd as it sounds. I am at my presumably future place of work, former place of internship, for leisure, which means I have the capacity to top up the water while they do their talk, and they actually noticed for a change. Not that this colleague in particular hadn't noticed in the past, it's just in general people don't notice much. Yeah, so that's the thing. Inventory is almost done. I'll be done with my inventory by the end of the week, as far as I can be. There's a few things relying on other rental places returning our things and picking up theirs, or the other way round. I say my former place of internships things, and returning their own. Funny how I have a sense of us, even though I don't even work there, you know. But in the end of the day, I have frequented that place for the past half year, and for the first 2/3 of it, I did actually work there, so I still frequent it. Hell, I mean, I like the people, I get along, and I like looking after the place, and is my life and work-life balance. Funny how that works, really. Considering most people don't go to a place of past and presumably future work for the sake of work-life balance. Then again, currently my work is academia, which is about as far away from rental storage facility as one can be in occupation. I mean, I like looking after the place because I only live in a flat. I don't got to do that with my flat. Well, the exterior, etc. I don't got to fill in holes in the floor. I don't got to do that at my former place of internship either, but I get to, which is a funny way of thinking of it. But I think I'd talked about this before. I screeded some of the gaps in the doors not that long ago. Collie got me some cement. I mixed it up with sand. Worked pretty well, you know, and I quite like that. And I've already got plans to continue on that project this Friday because I believe I should have time. The only thing is I will have to hand in my application for my bachelor's thesis, for which I do intend to... What's the right word? Let me see. Well, I'm not finding the right word, but I intend to see my intended supervisor external tomorrow, because I know where they'll be, and they don't know I'm showing up, but they should have figured by now that I will show up sometime soon, or send an email. But as I can show up in person, I might as well, you know. And then I'll hopefully have all the papers I need for Friday. So Friday morning I can come here to uni, drop off all the papers, have that out of the way, and go to my former place of internship. Continue screeding the doors and so on, you know. It's funny how that works. But I guess as far back as I remember, into childhood and so on, I've always done shit like this, maintain whichever property I stay at to some degree. I mean, yeah, okay, as a small kid I weren't very helpful. I was just there with my toy drill, but, you know, ever since I've been able to handle proper tools, I've been doing it. It's just a satisfying kind of thing. Maintaining property one care for, I guess. It's kind of crazy. With this junction, there is cars parked illegally on half of all the bits of road one could be. One just pulled up, which is why I'm bringing it up. Before it was only 3/8. But there is 4 cars on four sides of the 8 sides of the 4 corners there is here, that are within 5 meters of the corner. Crazy. I mean, the one next to me is even on a no man's land. So I believe the correct term, at least in English. I'm not sure, but that's what I learnt as in English. The stripy bits you aren't allowed to drive or stand on as a vehicle. One next to me is parked right on that, because why not? It's Berlin. That's the crazy bit, I think. The people whose job it is to make sure shit like this don't happen, that people do not park in no man's land, they don't care, and they officially don't care. And that's just nuts, I guess is the right way of putting it. I don't know. Sorry for the church bells in the background. It's just about to roll over to noon, the clock, so they are going to persist for a bit, but I got to leave shortly anyway, so hey, this will be the 3rd D3nse, I guess. Oh. Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about this former colleague just quitting, because I highly suspect they may suffer from health issues, not on the physical side. But I don't know if to offer support or not, because I don't think I am in the position, because we had a purely professional relationship. And I guess that means, you know, it's not my place. It's not that I don't want to, but I don't think with social rules and norms I am supposed to. Funny way of thinking of it, really. Yeah, anyways. That's something, you know. Earlier in the context of inventory, I found some old grandparented in error in the system, which sadly is not a big surprise, but that's why I'm doing the inventory. And should I work there in a few months' time, I'll do another inventory around New Year's, just to make sure shit is complete, because, you know, might as well. Don't want to be renting out things that aren't there, and don't want to not rent out things that are there. It's kind of obvious for some of the colleagues, past colleagues at least. I don't know about the present ones. I don't think for the present ones this applies, but for some of the past colleagues it appeared to not be that apparent. Don't ask me why. There we go, that's a thumbnail. Anyways, I gotta go to uni. Happy to get it over with. I hope you have something you're happy to get over with as well. Stay safe. I'll see you around. Cheerio.